Okay, let's now have the continuation. We have the curriculum development in the Philippines. We are going to detail one by one the significant events in each period. Ano sa palagay? Sige nga, mag-guess na ko pa. During the pre-Spanish era, bagong pagdating ng mga Espanyol, what type of curriculum do we have? Yes, Miss Chico.
Sa tingin ko, sir, meron na po tayong mga alphabets po nun.
Okay, let's find out.
So, yung mga alibata.
Okay, but not exactly the alphabet. Okay, symbols. We
symbols.
have the symbols to communicate. Okay.
Opo, yun po. So,
okay, what about during the Spanish era? Yes, Miss David, Hazel. During the Spanish era, any wild guess? What do we have? What type of curriculum do we have during the Spanish era? Miss Hazel David. Ay, may nabubula ni Hazel. So, yes, Miss Dabu. On behalf of Miss Hazel, what may I signal?
Ano po, sir? Religion po.
Okay, good. No? That's true.
Spanish period.
More on religion, more on the introduction of Catholicism, okay, in the Philippines. Okay, let's now have them one by one. Let's find out what happened. Let's have a throwback, okay, sa nakaraan. Ano ba ang curriculum before? So it says here, as an introduction, the curriculum development in the Philippines, the religious, political, economic, and social influences and events, okay, that took place in the country affected, sometimes dictated, okay, dictated the curriculum developed in that particular epoch of Philippine history. So relating to religion, even up to present, okay, religion still influences, okay, the curriculum. Like for Catholic school, kaya nga merong tinatawag ng Catholic school, di ba? Merong mga eskwelahan ng INC, I think, New Era, no? Most of those who are studying here. Meron din yung mga eskwelahan, yung dating daan, may sarili silang eskwelahan. So religion really still influences curriculum. So it has a factor. Next is political. Siyempre, political. Ang mga politician natin, our leaders, they decide on the programs they implement. Let's say, for instance, ang DepEd, kahit, ayan, DepEd, relating to political, they cascade all the programs going down to schools. At sumusunod tayo, ang CHED, ayan, that's political. Okay, they are assigned by the government to manage the educational and education system in the Philippines. Next is economic. It has an influence, of course. Pag mayaman ng eskwelahan, mas malaki ang chances na magkaroon ng magandang facilities. Okay, we have funds. Pag mayaman ang bansa, tingnan nyo naman ang eskwelahan nila, no? Ang mga mayayaman na bansa. But in Japan, you know what? I think they are mostly still are on traditional. Kahit na mayamang bansa sila, no? Nakikita mo yung eskwelahan nila, yung iba, simple lang. But it's more of discipline. Okay, but I repeat, generally, economics, in terms of economy, if you're coming from a performing country, okay, a rich country, you will be privileged with a lot of education opportunities, particularly with the type of services they provide. Okay, next is social. Of course, like what I've said, curriculum is based on social needs. Okay. Okay, let's resume. So this on your screen is the timeline for the historical perspective of curriculum development. So we have the pre-Spanish time, we have the Spanish era, we have the American period, Commonwealth, Japanese occupation, liberation period, Philippine Republic, New Society, and the present time. And of course, we know exactly what is happening at present, okay? K-12 program. We have elementary, kinder, We have elementary, we have junior high school, senior high school, moving to college. We also have the postgraduate studies for master's degree and dissertation. That's the present situation. And everything is formal. Everything is written in black and white. Okay? You go to school to get a certificate. You need to pass the exams. You need to do a performance task. You are given grades. Okay? So we are familiar with the present curricular situation. So let's now start with the pre-Spanish curriculum. It says here, the inhabitants were civilized people. Oh, syempre. Possessing their system of writing, just like what is mentioned by Ms. Chico, laws and moral standards in a well-organized system of government. But there is no organized system of education as we have now, okay, just like what we have now. So what they have during those times was informal education. Okay, so meaning to say, learning about life. Kung ang kailangan mo matutunan, kung babae ka, nasa bahay ka, tuturuan ka ng nanay mo kung paano magluto, paano magsaing, paano magligpit sa bahay, household chores. Kung lalaki ka, they might train you to become a warrior during the pre-Spanish era, di ba? They will train you to become a warrior or sasama ka ng tatay mo para mangisda, mangubat. Okay, basic skills, skills for survival, and you learn skills based on experience. Okay, the teacher here is the adult, usually nanay or tatay, yung nakatatanda. Okay, that's during the pre-Spanish curriculum. Next, Spanish-devised curriculum. Spanish curriculum consists of 3R. It consisted of 3Rs. What are these? Reading, writing, religion. Yan ang focus nila. Okay, during the Spanish era, it's more on reading, writing, and of course, yung binanggit niya ni Ms. Debu, it's more on religion. Okay, their goal is the acceptance of Catholicism. Kaya nga naman, di ba, may mga madalas yung eskwelahan nasa simbahan o tabi ng church during those times. So it's about the introduction of this religion. And the method of instruction is memorization. O, kaya nga naman si Jose Rizal, if you have watched the movie about the life of Rizal, talagang memoryado ang lahat ng yung mga tula na ginawa. O kaya yung mga tula na pinapamemorize sila in school. It's about memorization. Next. The American-devised Curriculum. So the motive of American-devised Curriculum is more on physical and intellectual dominance. So kanina, it's reading, writing, and religion, okay, on the Spanish. But in here, ano ang bago? Physical dominance, okay? The honing, development of the physical aspect. Okay, not only of the mind. So it's a balance between physical and intellectual dominance. The goal here is to train the Filipinos after the American culture and way of life. Okay, it is, of course, understandable na kung sino yung nag-colonize, kung anong kultura nila, yun ang tuturo nila. Hindi naman nila ituturo yung hindi nila alam. Just like you, pag naging teacher na kayo, ituturo nyo kung anong alam nyo. Okay, that's why it's a requirement for us to know a lot so we could teach a lot. Okay? Next, curriculum was based on the ideals and traditions of America. That's why we have English. Ayun naman ang pamana nila sa atin hanggang ngayon. Okay? The English language. And good thing, we are benefiting a lot from this legacy kasi may call center. Ano pa? There are a lot of job opportunities if you are well-versed in English. Okay? Yung mga Koreans, the Chinese, diba? They hire English teachers for online tutorials. Next. Ayan, sinabi natin, physical and intellectual. The focus of training is on the body, like they sing, they draw, they do handworks, physical education. And mental, okay, learning about the English language, nature study, arithmetic, geography, and civic activities. Okay? Okay, here are the features, okay, the significant events also during the American-devised Curriculum. So, i-highlight ko na lang tong Thomasites. Have you heard about Thomasites? Sinong nakarinig na ng Thomasites? Anyone?
Sir,
Yes, can you give us the definition of Thomasites?
yung mga
first teacher po na nagturo po sa mga...
Okay, correct. These are the first group of American teachers who stood as mentors to Filipinos. Sila yung unang grupo ng Amerikano na nagturo sa Pilipinas. We call them Thomasides. Okay? Medium of instruction, of course, is English. And then, ito yung binago nila. For the Spanish era, it's about religion. But in here, they prohibit compulsory religious instruction in the public schools. Okay? And even at present, okay, in public schools, hindi siya required. Okay? Kung gusto mo mag-attend sa religious activities, then go ahead. But hindi required. Kunyari, magpapamisa sa public school. Merong hindi non-Catholic, pwede naman silang hindi mag-attend. They will stay in their rooms or will have another activity. Yung ginagawa namin sa school namin, no? Kunyari, we have a mass. Okay, all Catholic will have to attend the mass. The non-Catholic, kung iglesia sila, may sarili silang group sa isang room. At yung teacher na INC, sila yung magbibigay na activity for that session. Okay, that's what we do. In order to address, hindi lang pwede silang iwan dun sa classroom at pabayaan na lang, no, habang nagmimisa. They need also to do something spiritual in relation to what the others are doing outside. Para balance, para fair. Okay. Next. So again, wag pipilitin, no? Pero pag Catholic school, it's obviously, in-enroll mo ang anak mo sa Catholic school, dapat naintindihan mo na merong mga religious activities na kailangan niyang samahan. And anyway, pag private school naman, walang puwersahan pag ina-enroll, di ba? It's you who decided to enroll in that school. Next. Okay. Following are the famous American curriculum theorists. Okay? Hindi na natin didiscuss isa-isa. I just want you to analyze on their thoughts, on their quotes, and then tell me what philosophy are these thoughts coming from this American curriculum theorists are attached to? Saan ba sila mas na-align? Are they more of the perennialists? Are they more of the progressivists? Are they more of the behaviorists? Are they more of the reconstructionists? So based on what we have discussed, according to Franklin Bobbitt, curriculum is a science that emphasizes the student's needs. Oh, anyone? Yeah, raise your hand. What philosophies align with this student's needs? Yes, Ms. Panganiban.
Sir.
Okay, it's progressivist. It could also be existentialist. Okay, existentialism. Very good. Next, we have the thought coming from American curriculum theorists or charters. Curriculum is a science. Again, it gives emphasis on students' needs. So, pareho lang ng sagot natin kanina. So, mapapansin nyo, no, the American curriculum, dito na na-introduce yung learner's needs, learner-centered. Dito nag-umpisa based on these thinkers. Kaya nga ang ating curriculum, kung mapapansin nyo, K-12 is a replication of the American curriculum. Kasi meron din silang senior high school. Okay, madalas, yun yung ginagawa natin. We adopt what they have. Kaya nga sinasabi nila parang tayo, ampon ng Amerika kasi gaya-gaya daw tayo. But I think it's time for us to do K-12 program, lalo na pag yung ibang nagtatrabaho dito, pupunta ng ibang bansa, tapos ng doktor magiging nurse doon. Okay? At least we align it into international standards. Next, William Kilpatrick. Curricula are purposeful activities which are child-centered o learner-centered again. Hindi ko na kailangang basahin hanggang dulo. Okay? So, what I want you to realize here is that these American thinkers, sila ang nagpaumpisa. Noon pa man, meron ng thought ng learner-centered. Okay? Learner-centered activities. Next, curriculum theories, Harold Rugg. Curriculum should develop the whole child. Oh, yeah. Existentialism, progressivism. Hollis Caswell, curriculum is organized around social functions of themes, organized knowledge, and learners' interest. Okay, again, 1901 yan ha. 1901 and 1989. Ang tagal-tagal na. So kung inakala natin ang learner-centered instruction ay ngayon pa lang nauuso, hindi. Noon pa man, okay, pinopropose na nila yan. Okay, that's American curriculum, a theorist. Next, Ralph Tyler. Curriculum is a science and an extension of school's philosophy. Anong emphasis ang meron si Ralph Tyler dito? Extension of school's philosophy. We have different emphasis, right? Emphasis on the subject matter, experience process, emphasis on the needs of the child, okay? Emphasis on the school. Definitely, extension of school's philosophy The emphasis of Tyler here is the emphasis of the school relating to the mission vision statement of the school, that when you create a plan, a lesson plan, when you design your curriculum as a teacher, i-align mo dun sa mission vision statement ng eskwelahan. Lalo na pag private school, iba-iba ang mission vision statement nila. Depende sa pinaniniwalaan nila. But for public schools, we follow a standard mission vision statement of the Department of Education. Okay. Okay, let's move now to the Commonwealth period. Again, these are the significant events. The time frame is from 1935 to 1946. It is known as the period of expansion and reform in Philippine curriculum. Why? Okay, these are the reasons. American-trained Filipino teachers, okay, otherwise known as educational leaders, introduced farming, trade, business, domestic science, and the like. So dito meron ng Filipino teachers. So from Thomasites, okay, yung na-train nila, sila na ngayon ang nagli-lead. Okay? They are starting to introduce different curricular programs into the Philippine curriculum. Next, collegiate normal schools, which started in 1939, were for 2 years training beyond high school. Ayan, may college na. Okay, we have college studies, and it's formal now, but okay, only for 2 years training. Pero dati, no, during the American time, kung papansin nyo, yung mga lolo at lola nyo, kahit na grade 6 lang ang natapos, pagkatali-talino. At sinasabi nila nakapagturo sila, no? And that's the system before. Kasi nga kulang pa sa teachers at wala pang wala pang memorandum qualification agreement in black and white. Okay, so kung sinida-train ng mga Americans, yun yung magtuturo. Next, they implemented Educational Act of 1940, which eliminated grade 7. So dati pa pala meron ng grade 7. Okay, but during this time, Commonwealth, they eliminated grade 7. At yun yung inabutan ko hanggang grade 6. No? Walang grade 7. After grade 6, first year high school hanggang 4th year high school. Next.
Sir, humina po yung boses niyo, sir.
Japanese-devised Curriculum. The occupation of the Philippines by the Japanese Imperial Forces in 1941 to 1945. Now, what special events or significant events happened here in the education system? Of course, kung sa Amerika, sa Spanish, the Spaniards, they introduced Spanish. Okay? The Americans, they introduced English as medium of instruction. And syempre, the Japanese, the inclusion, ito naman, they did not force. They include Nihongo and abolish English as means of instruction. But still, what they want to adhere here is, ang pinaka-feature, special feature ng Japanese-devised curriculum is love of country, patriotism. That's what they would like us to develop. Okay? During those times. All textbooks were censored and revised. Okay? Pinalitan nila lahat yan kasi ayaw nila lang trace ng Americans. Okay, so they revised everything. They were censored. They reviewed. How did the Japanese-devised curriculum cause a blackout in Philippine education? That's the question now. How did the Japanese-devised curriculum cause a blackout in Philippine education? Bakit nagkaroon ng blackout in Philippine education during the Japanese era? What happened? O sige, then mahilig kayong history. Those who love history, let's have Angela. Angela, balitan ko best in araling panlipunan ka kanunang elementary.
Sir, wala ko pong idea.
Palagay mo tating blackout king Philippine education during the Japanese era. Ano waring atin?
Ayaw.
No idea, sir.
Hapon.
Ayaw.
No, sige, let's have another one to save you, Angela. Marjorie. Miss Ingente. What do you think happened? Meron daw blackout. Alam power, makanta. O may nga pa-stop.
Ano, sir?
Mag-comprehend yan.
Hindi, mahina kasi, sir, yung audio po eh. Mahina po yung audio.
Mahina yung audio. Oh, my question is there on your screen.
Textbook.
The last one. How did the Japanese-devised curriculum
Ano po, sir? Siguro, sir, yung sinakop na nila yung Pilipinas. Hindi ko alam.
At di ba
Wala akong idea.
nakikita nyo sa mga sa history lessons and even history movies during the Japanese era, ayan yung usong-usong gera. Mag-classic ka.
Opo, yung sinakot.
Mag-classic ka, may sneak down ng ating bombang kasalubong.
Sir, ano po?
Of course, just like what happened. Oh yeah,
Sir?
correct. Just like what happened in Marawi.
Sorry. No, hindi tayo na.
Yes, anyone?
Sir, ano po? Yung sa Japanese era po ba, sir?
Yeah.
Kasi di ba yan yung yan yung naging, kaya po na-blackout yung education is, yan yung time na nagkaroon ng mga, ginawa yung mga Pilipino na sex slave, parang nawalan yung morality na ng
It's chaos, okay? It's chaos.
Yes,
Merong
sir.
curriculum pero ang dami na abuso, ang daming gera sa paligid, of course. Just like what happened in Marawi, everything will stop. Okay? Buti nga ngayon, ito naman ngayon, COVID, no? Pero hindi ito magpapatigil ang, ang mga nag-aaral at ang mga eskwelahan. Talagang tuloy na tuloy ang pasukan. Kaya nandito tayo ngayon. Mas gusto ko na to kaysa sa gera. No? Nung gera Yarugo, Jeremy, kasalubong mo, bomba, magklasita pa. Lalong na may luwal. Okay? For that. Okay, so again, the Japanese-devised curriculum created a blackout in the Philippine education because of the context. Okay, another because of their personal intentions. Okay, alam niyo naman if you have the purpose to colonize, okay, to occupy a place, ayaw mong parang ang mga politiko, no? Kung bakit ayaw nila magpatupad ng magandang programa at patalinuhin ang mga botante. Of course. Okay? Pag hindi matatalino ang botante, kahit sino pwede nilang iboto. That's the point. Okay? Curriculum during the Republic. Okay? Educational reforms caused by country's independence, curricular development introduced in the Philippines since 1946 are integrative activity program. I say integrative activity program, it's integrated all subjects, not discipline-led. Okay? Lahat nandun na, kumbaga, you could integrate math, science, okay, Filipino. Dito na uso yun. Experienced curriculum organizations, okay, just like also in American-devised Curriculum, they started the organization of curriculum. Kung mapapansin nyo, from time to time, di ba? From nothing, na walang black and white, papunta ng Spanish, American, it transformed, it developed. Can you see now the development of curriculum based on this significant details? Of course, the lesson here is that there are changes based on what we experience. Kung naranasan mo na, na-experience mo na, of course, hindi mo na uulitin yung pagkakamali mo. That's the point. Same in teaching. Okay? Ang history ng teacher, yung ginawa niya nung una, asahan niyo yung first year, no? Trial yan pag nagturo na kayo. It's trial and error. Until such time that you have mastered everything and you already developed your craft. You crafted perfectly your curriculum based on the needs of your learners. That's what we mean. Okay? Katulad ng first year of teaching ko, ang dami kong pinagagawa pa lang mali, no? And I do not know that in terms of writing my plan, in terms of implementing it, until such time that I gain the experience from time to time at na-develop ko na. I know what to do now. I know how to plan. Okay? Next, development of local supplementary curriculum materials, indigenization, ayan, contextualization. Okay, these concepts are already introduced. Democratic school practices and teaching methods. So everybody has the freedom now what strategy to use in the classroom, what teaching methods to apply in the classroom. Use of vernacular and Filipino as medium of instruction. Ayan. Okay, the use of Filipino. So it's not, if they are not forcing the use of English, Nihongo, or Spanish in teaching. It's the use of vernacular and Filipino as medium of instruction. Parang MTBLE lang, no? Mother tongue-based language instruction. Development of a continuous progression, development of community school service program. Ayan. Dito ngayon meron sa college, di ba? Community School Service Program. Anong tawag na? NSTP? Kung nakuha nyo na yun, in which you are going to serve the community in that course. Okay, practical arts. Sir. Oh, correct. Practical arts courses in general secondary curriculum as foundation for specialized training, vocational courses, agricultural trade school for greater skills and specialization, and individualized instruction. So dati pa pala, ini-introduce ng individualized instruction. Hindi lang ngayon. Okay? Though, generally, teacher-centered during this time. It's subject-centered. Okay. Curriculum in the new society, just as during the time of former President Ferdinand Marcos. Okay. During his time, he implemented Educational Development Decree number 6 of 1972. Anong meron dito? The purpose of this is to make schools responsive to the needs of the new society. Curricular steps, teaching of land and agrarian reform. Kasi yun ang meron tayo. So yun ang ituturo. It's what we need. Okay? May mga lupain tayo, kailangan taniman. And cooperatives as individual subjects. Requirement of family planning and Philippine Constitution, the study of Philippine Constitution para alam natin ang batas. Ayan, ini-require. Hanggang ngayon, meron pa rin sa ating curriculum sa college. Okay? Sa high school, sa elementary, meron yan, mga pahapyaw. Hindi nga lang detailed na Philippine Constitution, but in college, it's detailed. Okay? And I know favorite nyo ang subject na yan. Malalaman yung mga karapatan nyo bilang Pilipino. Okay. National College Entrance Examination, extension of class into areas like farms and factories. Ayan. Extended practice using farms and factories. Taxation, these are the subjects. Taxation and population education offered at higher education. Mandatory, okay, required. Use of textbooks authored and published by Filipinos. Okay, kasi from Americanized, from Americans, Japanese, okay, and then Spanish, yung una-una pa, they are now emphasizing the use of Philippine textbooks authored by Filipinos, some sort of developing nationalism and patriotism among learners. Okay? Okay, reforms in teaching methodology in the new society. Objectives of instruction shall specify behavioral change, behaviorism. Kailangan it should manifest. That's why there is an evaluation of the outcome. Kailangan may patest na. Ayan. Next, teaching strategies are inquiry-based and problem-oriented. Wow, during the new society, ayan na yung Socratic method. Ayan na yung discovery learning na introduce na rin pala. Guidance and research should be given emphasis. But during those times, these things, hindi siya masyadong ganun na i-implement. At present, ngayon siya na-implement. So, dati pa pala to. Okay? What we have at K-12 is a repetition of this statement, okay, of this curricular changes during the new society. Ang gaganda ng plano, no? Pero bakit ganun? Saan nagkakaroon ng problema? Why do we still lag behind? Okay, why some learners still lag behind when it comes to education if we have good curriculum plans like this one? Courses should be restructured to allow testing in actual practice of theories learned in classroom. Next, out of classroom learning. Okay, that's self-explanatory. Evaluation methods should measure ability to use knowledge or apply what is learned. Like you should manifest, okay? You should do a paper pen test or a performance task, applying what is learned. Adoption of scholarship incentives for students, tie-up educational institutions, and tie-up of business industry. So parang meron ng pa-immersion, no? Like you would do an OJT to these institutions. They are now the partners. The stakeholders are the partners. Okay, at present time, you are very much aware of the basic education curriculum and K-12. Okay, for basic education, we have kindergarten, elementary, junior high school, and senior high school. Aside from that, meron tayong ALSPA, okay, Alternative Learning System. Pero ang tanong ngayon, are you not wondering, ano na kayang sitwasyon nila ngayon? Given that we have this distance learning, no? Parang this pandemic really challenged a lot of educational institutions and a lot of people, tayo, okay, nasa baba. We are really challenged by this experience of us. But we have to pursue, we have to adapt kasi hindi natin alam kung hanggang kailan hihinto ba tayo. Okay? Paano kung 3 years to? 3 years tang matenga. Sino na ang magiging teachers? After 3 years, mauubusan tayo ng supply of manpower. Next is technical vocational education. What institution is responsible in managing technical vocational education?
TESDA po.
Okay, good. We have
Yes, amin
TESDA.
po.
Just amin, sir.
Okay, correct. Okay? And higher education, that's CHED. Etong basic education, we have DepEd, kasama diting alternative learning system. Okay, for technical vocational education, we have TESDA. For higher education, we have CHED. Ang dami nating agencies for education because the country sees the value of education. Okay? All Filipino learners have the rights to be educated. And if they will not be educated, pababa tayo. Sino na lang ang magiging teachers kung hindi tayo? Hindi kayo ituturuan, we will not train you to become teachers. Kaya nga ang CHED, ang trabaho ng CHED sa mga courses na kinukuha, every year nagpapalabas sila ng list ng kailangan na trabaho sa Pilipinas. So the people, especially the incoming college students, would know what course to take. Kahit minsan kasi kung gusto mo, kung hindi naman in demand, sayang naman yung effort mo, mawawalan ka ng trabaho, di ba? So that's what we mean. It's not always about what we want. It's not always about our interests. Okay? The agency balances the interest of the learner plus the interest of the society. So that will be all for this session. Up next, you have to download the module and read more on the historical perspective using the SLMs, self-learning modules, saved in MS Team file. So lahat naman kayo enrolled na doon, just download it. Again, session 3, module 1. Okay? Next, you read the instructions from the module, work with your group to come up with a group output requirement to be counted as project for preliminary grades. Yung instructions for the module is for you to create an output, that's a poster. Okay, I will group you, which showcases the development of curriculum in the Philippines. So you may use illustrations, you may use pictures, but you are not going to upload it in Facebook. You are going to post it in our MS Teams, okay, through our chat. And then next week, sa isang grupo, you are going to present your output to the class sa ating virtual meet. Okay, we will have one speaker, okay, from the group who will explain about the poster. It should look like a collage na pag tinignan mo ang mensahe, ito ang curriculum development in the Philippines. This is how curriculum developed in the Philippines. Okay? So pwede nyo ipaglalagay yung mga litrato na meron kayo habang nag-aaral. Okay? O kaya, datang may panganaking panahon ng Espanyol ng ating kopa. Kasi mo ay Nicole. Okay? Iapo natin yung picture, kunyari. Okay? Yung panahon ng Espanyol, iapo na, chuya pa. Pwede naman it's possible. Lolo sa tuhod, lola sa tuhod. Baka pwede nga idagdag. Make it appealing. And then yung rubric, okay, the rubric is also uploaded in MS Teams. Tignan nyo na lang yung assessment measure doon. Now, this is the challenge. At 8 o'clock, the time here in my laptop is 6:13. At 8 o'clock, I want you to submit an initial output. And I'm not expecting na maganda na yung output nyo agad sa poster na yon. Okay? It's intended for us or for you, for the group to polish it. But for the initial output which you will post in our GC, in our MS Teams, using the group chat, that will be given 10%. So 90% will be based on your final output to be presented next meeting. Okay? And here are your groupings. Are you ready? Okay. So in our attendance, we are 23. Group 1, numbers 1 to 5. So we have Chico, Panganiban, Dabu, Arce. O talayang number 4 in attendance ng Milyari.
Sir, excuse me po, pwede po ulit, sir? Medyo humina po kasi yung...
We will use your attendance as our basis for your groupings para hindi na tayo mahirapan. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, group 1 on the attendance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, group number 2. 11 to 15, group number 3. 16 to 20, group number 4. Miss Santos Veronica, you join group number 1. Okay? Mr. Shanilia, okay? You join group number 2. So we have 4 groups for the output. And then yung instructions for the poster, kung anong gagawin, nasa module. Now, do you have questions?
Wala po, sir.
Nung kakakit yung pamilisan ko na kasi 1 hour mo yung kakatamong synchronous session. So please bear with me. Nung minsan na dire-diretso na ako manyalita. I need to discuss this one for me to relate it to you. Questions? Walang tanong. Huwag kayong mahiyang magtanong. Sabi ni Susan Roses. Right med.
May right med ba?
Miras taking right med. Any
Sir,
question?
saan makikita yung grouping, sir?
Sa attendance natin, Miss Panganiban, yung
Sorry
attendance,
po, sir.
attendance,
Nasa GC.
nasa GC. Again, 1 to 5, group 1. 6 to 10, group 2. 11 to 15, group 3. 16 to 20, group 4. And then, itong pang 21, mag-join niya king group 1. 22, mag-join niya king group 2. 23, mag-join niya king group 3. Okay? So, if you don't, yes.
Yung absent po, sir, si Acosta po.
Yung absent, isama siya na yung magiging pan 24. So, he will be group number 4. Okay. Ano pa? May nakalimutan ba tayo? Wala na. So, deadline will be next week, of course, because you are going to present your output. It should look like a virtual poster tayo, ha? No need to print.
Sir,
It's
excuse
virtual
me.
poster. Yes.
Sir, yung attendance